Hello everyone, that's tuning in today's second video. So we're done 5-day forecast. You can find the video tab here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a little bit and it's above Snow Desk. There's also the written version, and you can get to that from the buttons at the top of the page. Going to be 5 days of change. So we're starting off very mild and very windy and wet. Going to finish up really quite cold by the weekend. Temperatures will be colder than average. Will be night frost and possibly some wintry showers places as well. So today's second video will pick up the story beyond the 5-day forecast period. Will extend out to the 7 to 10 day time frame. This will take us into the start of December. I think go to around the 2nd of December with this update. So I'll show you what's predicted to happen next week. We have got uncertainty for next week between the ECMWF and the GFS. I'll talk you through what's going on in a second. Before I get on with that, just say that the Christmas shop is open. So you've got a Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas. Just click the green button that says Gav's Christmas shop. It takes you through to our Christmas shop page. You're there on the right page. You'll see some snowflakes fluttering down the screen. And the key to it all is to go through the Amazon banners, because if you go from Gav's Service to Amazon when you get there, just do your Christmas shopping as normal. But because you've gone from Gav's Service to Amazon, it means we get a revenue fee on the things that you are buying. And a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Again, been a huge success again so far this season. Plenty of time, of course, to get your Christmas shopping in. We're still in November, so we'll keep plugging away at this until we run out of time, which will be 2 or 3 days before Christmas. And during Christmas, we're going to have the 10th Christmas update for you this evening. Just a Friday, very exciting day, because not only will we have JMA Friday as always, and the 11th Christmas update is penciled in for Friday as well, but that will be earlier than normal, because in the evening on Friday, we're going to be doing a live event. Myself and Quantum will be talking about the weather live at Gav's Weather. So you'll be able to tune into the conversation and hear what's saying. We'll be taking your questions as well. We'll be talking about the morals, talking about the winter. I'm sure that will come up, what kind of winter we may have in store. Don't want to give too much away though before I do the winter forecast, of course, but we're talking about all of that, and we'll take your questions as well, so you'll be able to post us questions either at Gav's Service in the comments section or on Twitter, on Facebook. I'll be keeping an eye through the chat on all our social media pages, and of course you can email your questions in advance as well to gavservice@gmail.com. so that'll be starting 7 o'clock in the evening on Friday. Be the first live event that we've done for over a year, so hope that one is interesting for you on Friday evening. Right, better get on with today's second video, and we're going to start off with 500 millibar high anomaly flowcharts from the PSU Penn State University website. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, the GFS on the bottom. These are the mean flowcharts for the next 7 to 10 days. This takes us to around the 2nd of December. Red is extrapolating to high pressure and blue to low pressure. This is looking at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, which is the boundary layer of the atmosphere called the troposphere, where weather is taking place. So the ECMWF is very, very blocked this morning. We've got this big red area through the Atlantic, a large mid-Atlantic ridge, and it extends up to Greenland. And it goes beyond that, actually, up into the North Pole. So still a lot of northern blocking there over the top of the pole. And then on the other side of that, we've got this deep trough, this big blue area sitting here across the west of Europe. This is placing us not only on the cold side of the jet stream, it's also placing us on the cold side of the trough. So what we're doing with this in terms of the flow, it's rather an extreme flow, actually, very blocked indeed. We're doing something a bit like that around the trough and the ridges, and quite obviously we are placed on the cold side of both the jet stream and that trough of low pressure, and the winds will be coming in from a northeasterly direction into this trough. There would be wintry potential with that as we go into the start of December. You wouldn't be ruling out the risk of snow in some places. Not the same for the GFS though, so it's kind of similar. It's not that far away really. The difference is that we've got more energy in the jet stream. So we've got our mid-Atlantic ridge and we've got our northern block over here. But between the two, instead of sending the jet stream like that, remember the jet stream doing something like that with the ECMWF, what the jet stream is doing with the GFS, it's just coming through those two ridges. So we aren't forming the block from the Atlantic through Greenland through to the North Pole. Instead, we're just bringing the jet stream through, then taking some of the energy down here. So it is still quite cool. It's quite cold. But just beyond this, actually, just beyond the 10-day time frame, actually the westerlies do re-establish as this cutoff low pushes in that direction. So essentially, the GFS is a milder solution, whereas the ECMWF is quite a cold and blocked solution today. In fact, it's a very cold and blocked solution. So these are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles next 2 weeks. We're looking at Darwin. Today, somebody has asked me have a look at Darwin. So we've got the red line here, which is the 30-year upper air temperature average. And we're starting off very, very mild today. Look at that. Temperature's way above average. But pretty much from here, we're going to be downhill all the way through the rest of the week and into weekend. So by the weekend, going colder than average. Into next week, staying underneath the red line, at least till the middle part of the week. So staying colder than average into the middle part of the week. It's really from this point just here, which is kind of like the last day of November into the first day of December, that we've got a bit of disagreement within the GFS ensemble. So you see that several members of the ensembles are beginning to lift those temperatures up there through the first, let's say, the first 5 days of December. We've got about, well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's even half of the ensemble suite, really. It's fewer than half, but we have got some ensemble members there that are turning things milder right on the final day of November and into the first 5 days of December. Then we've got these ensemble members down here that are keeping things cold. They extend the cold out, haven't been through them individually, but I assume a lot of these will be very similar to what the ECMWF is doing this morning. So I think the GFS ensembles are still favouring the cold solution, and you can see that by the white line here, which is the ensemble mean. So that's taking each one of these individual lines of spaghetti, as I call them, which is each line represents an individual ensemble member, takes all of those together and comes up with a mean line for the ensemble, if you see what I mean. And that is staying underneath the red line just about. So despite the scatter, overall the GFS ensembles are still just about on the colder than average side as we go through the first week of December. But clearly it does look as though certainly some ensemble members, and that includes the operational GFS, want to end the cold spell probably around the 30th of December, or probably around 30th of November, I should say, or the 1st of December. As far as precipitation is concerned, quite a lot of wet weather coming up in the next few hours as we've got this very mild air. As it turns colder, it also turns drier through the rest of the week and into weekend. Next week, I've got precipitation spikes coming back, and some of those precipitation spikes are in the same period, but it's quite cold, so there is a little bit of wintry potential probably as we go into next week at Darwin. These are the surface temperatures and air pressure for Darwin. So we can see that, again, starting off very mild. That's the confirmation that we are starting off really mild with temperatures around 13 or 14 degrees Celsius. But you see from here, it is downhill all the way. So by the time we get through to the weekend, we're barely reaching 5 degrees Celsius over the at the end of the week and over the weekend for our maximum temperatures. So much colder, around a 10-degree temperature drop there where we are today through to the end of the week and the weekend, with the risk of night frost as well. Then through next week, you can see that the trend of the model is to keep things quite cold through the course of the next week. Although, again, that is masking a little scatter. These are our milder ensemble members. Those are the ones that are lifting up to 10 degrees or more from the 1st of December and then through that first week of December. But conversely, see there are several ensemble members, more ensemble members actually, that are keeping things on the colder side there through the first week of December and also with night frost as well. So we just show, but as get through to the very end of November and the start of December, we have got a lot of scatter and a bit of uncertainty as how long this cold weather is going to last for. It's going to be pretty cold through much of next week, though. This is how the air pressure is looking for Darwin. So you start off with low pressure, 980 millibars. Pressure will recover through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Overall, it looks like we keep pressure pretty high through into the first part of December. Temperature anomalies for the next week. This goes from the 22nd of November through to the 30th of December, coming out a little bit colder than average now for Scotland and Northern Ireland. England and Wales still ever so slightly above average. We'll look at these again tomorrow. They may well be colder than average for the week by tomorrow. Precipitation anomalies average to a little bit wetter than average, so a colder and more unsettled period is on the way. Have a look at the GFS then. It's how things are looking for Saturday with the GFS bringing down this cold northwesterly wind. There was a suggestion yesterday that we might have a secondary feature pushing across England and Wales on Friday night and Saturday morning, possibly producing rain or snow. Most of that has been pushed off down into the channel. We'd cover this in a 5-day forecast. I think some southern counties might still get quite a bit of rain overnight Friday into Saturday. On the northern edge over the Wolds and the Downs, that might give a little bit of sleet or snow, but I don't think it's coming far enough north into Wales, Midlands, northern England to produce anything particularly in terms of sleet or snow, but it does need keeping an eye on. It might be trended northwards over the next day or two. But by Saturday, we're into this cold and showery run of northwesterly winds. Those winds will be bringing in wintry showers to the north and the west. By the time you go through to Sunday, starting to build in a little bit of a ridge, so the showers ease off, as does the wind. It's mainly dry but cold. Monday brings our next weather system through across the country. That will bring cloud and outbreaks of rain. There could be some hill snow included in that. For a time, it'll turn a bit, turn a bit less cold on Monday morning. But by the time you get through to Monday afternoon, the winds will be pulling back into the north again, bringing colder air back from the north. So by Tuesday, we're all back into that run of northerly winds. And it will be cold. There'll be further wintry showers, mainly snow showers by now, I would have thought, up across Scotland. It's the middle part of next week. It stays cold on Wednesday. So certainly to the middle of next week, around a week's time, it is looking cold. And in this kind of situation, that's really too far, because models will always try and break things down quickly in terms of cold and block conditions. So we've probably gone ahead of ourselves now in terms of reliability anyway, but up to the middle of next week it is looking quite cold. Beyond that, the GFS, we know, we saw it from the height anomaly flow charts, wants to establish or re-establish a milder flow from off the Atlantic. So by the time we go through to day 10, which is Saturday the 2nd of December, we are looking milder. We're bringing milder air in around the top of this ridge, which is moving back down towards the Azores. So everything is beginning to go westerly again, and we're starting to break through the Atlantic Ocean. Excuse me. Again, now we go through to the ECMWF. We know it's going to be a colder, much colder than the GFS from the height anomalies. So again, this is how things are looking on Saturday, bringing that cold, showery northwesterly wind through the country, wintry showers certainly in the north and west. Those northerly northwesterly winds are still with us into Sunday as well. Again, looking cold with wintry showers early next week. Here comes the area of low pressure on Monday, but for a time we'll bring some slightly less cold air with a mix of rain and hill snow. By Tuesday, that low pressure is moving to our east and the wind's going back into the north again. So by Wednesday, yes, we're in that northerly wind. So both models are in agreement to keep it cold by Wednesday, but the difference by Wednesday is that the ECMWF has a much stronger ridge through the Atlantic going northwards to Greenland, and it actually goes off the chart up to the Arctic Circle up here. So this is a much more blocked pattern compared to the GFS, which means not only I bring down a colder northerly wind compared to the northerly wind that the GFS is bringing down, it's also more locked in. There's less of a chance that the Atlantic and the jet stream will break it down. Beyond that, so we're running up towards day 10, and look at this, it stays very cold with the ECM WF. This is the 1st of December, for example, where we're properly locked into cold weather. We've got this blocking feature here around Iceland. It extends back up to the Arctic. That's the trough of low pressure that's to our east and south. The winds are in from the northeasterly direction, and I'm sure there would be the risk, at the very least, of wintry showers, probably snow showers, in with that for the start of December, and it stays cold and blocked up to day 10, which is Saturday the 2nd of December. So the ECMWF is a much colder, much more blocked scenario up to day 10 compared to the GFS. I say there is a little bit of wintry potential about it, and at this website, weather.us, and you can find the link to this website on the links page. You can actually see the accumulated snowfall for the UK up to day 10. So I'm starting here at a week away, which is 168 hours a week today, and you can see that there is snow, accumulated snow here across large parts of Scotland, actually. It's in inches, by the way. It's an American website. The temperatures are in Fahrenheit, so you do have to do the conversion to the centimetres and Celsius and that kind of thing. But we see we have got quite a decent snow cover, over an inch of snow there across a large part of Scotland in a week's time, with a covering of snow also across parts of Northern Ireland down to northern parts of England through Wales as well. Now let's run through in 24-hourly steps. So we go through to 192 hours, and this is how the snow cover is looking then, which is next Thursday, remember, 30th of November, and you see that we are seeing a few little blue patches appearing across England and Wales here, indicating there is some snow potential with the ECMWF as we get through into the second half of next week. Now, we're not talking about a vast covering of snow here. These are probably mostly snow showers, indicating a dusting of snow, for example, through the Midlands, and also going down towards the London area as well, with that ECMWF run this morning. We go to 216 hours, which is going to be Friday, the 1st of December, and again we have these, most of the snow cover is in the north, so it's for Scotland down to Northern Ireland, through much of northern England, particularly northwestern England, through into Wales, that we have got proper coverings of snow if the ECMWF is right. But we do see again through parts of the Midlands down in towards some areas in the southeast, especially to the north of London, so into the Chilterns, for example. Elevation will always make a difference, so into the Chilterns to the north of London, for example, the Downs and the Wolds, the model is indicating the chance of at very least a dusting of snow in some of those areas. And this is how things look by 240 hours, which takes us to day 10, as far as we can go with the ECMWF. And again, most of the snow cover is to the north and west, proper snow cover in the north and the west, but some dustings of snow as we come down into other parts of England and Wales. If these are snow showers as well that the model is seeing from this sort of scenario that we have here with the ECMWF in its extended, so that's how it is on the 30th of November, this is how it looks on the 1st of December, that's how it looks on day 10, 2nd of December. If these are sort of snow showers, then it could always be underestimating the potential as well. So it's mainly in the north over the next week to 10 days that the ECMWF is seeing the risk of snow cover, but other parts of England and Wales certainly have the risk, at very least, of a dusting of snow if that ECMWF run was to come off next week. It's a very interesting website. It's not widely available, this kind of information from the ECM, so do check out that website, weather.us. And keep in mind, the GFS is much milder. While this is going on, these days that we're looking at that might bring a little bit of snow cover with the ECMWF to England and Wales, the GFS is much milder by day 10. It is properly establishing the Atlantic flow. So it is possible that the ECMWF is too extreme with its blocking and its cold setup next week. We'll just have to wait and see which one of the two models turns out to be correct. But if the ECMWF is right and we do get these dustings of snow widely across parts of the country next week, that would be more snow than many of us have seen and we're only 2 days into winter there, will be more snow than many of us have seen throughout the last 5 winters since 2012, 2013, because we have had a real snow drought, especially down in the south over the past few years. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how things develop. Hope you found that interesting. We've gone on a little bit longer than normal, but I wanted to show you that information that there is with the ECMWF a chance of a little bit of snow down in the south next week, particularly though up in the north if the model is correct. Keep in mind the GFS much milder. Right, we've got the temperatures update coming up this evening, so come back for that. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.